Hello, my beautiful friends. Julianne here of Julianne Annette Art. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. If you're new, I'd love it if you consider subscribing. I would love to have you stick around. Today's video is going to be the 2024 year in review. So I'm going to be answering the questions that Karin from My Colorful Country Life came up with. And if you want to do it yourself, you can find the questions on her video for it. And this is my first year coloring. I started coloring in, I think February I started coloring, February of 2024, and then it was really in May that I started kind of getting into the community and got on Instagram and started trying to follow hashtags like mermaid, and then in the beginning of June is when I started my channel, and my first video was my completed pages from May. So the first half of the year was just like a little bit of a discovery of adult coloring and a little bit of dabbling in it, and then kind of a little bit more than the second half of the year. It was my big into coloring. So the questions aren't all going to pertain to me as much, or they're a little bit different for me because it's just my first year coloring. It's not a repeat year or not a follow-up year for me kind of thing. So I'm just going to kind of adjust as I go where necessary. But question number one is your top 10 pages of 2024. Now, this is going to affect this video a lot, but as many of you might know, I left my partner and I moved from where I was living, and have been in with my mom, but it's a very long drive and I don't drive, and so I had to leave an amount of my stuff behind, and included in what's left behind are some books. And so some of the pages that are my favorite pages, or some of the pages that are relevant to stats, I don't have with me. So I'm gonna, when I go through the stats, I'm gonna kind of specify what's what. And so with my favorite coloring pages, some of them are there and I don't have them. So I'm gonna show you a picture of it that I have from Instagram, because I don't have the physical book with me. So I'm going to count down, and this is just here for show. This one I'll show it to you eventually, but it's not the one that's next in line. But before I get to the top 10, I'm going to show you my honorable mention. And it's an honorable mention because I feel like I'm zoomed in very much. This is an honorable mention because it's Jasmine Beckett Griffith, Halloween. And I absolutely adore the page that I did. It was a buddy color with Emily of E Art Studios, but I really, I did my best to color exactly how Jasmine Beckett Griffith had done the art itself. And so I'm really happy with how I did my shading, and that's why it's getting mentioned. And I consider putting it in the top 10, but because it really is quite a copy of hers, so that's why I thought I'll do it as an honorable mention. But it was a really good exercise in the shading. Like the yellow here was all just done with Inktense, and then it was all based with Inktense except for the skin, but I went over everything else except for the yellow on the wings with Prismacolors. And so, the shading that I've done here with the Prismacolors and the shading and the texture in her hair, I'm actually really happy with how most of it came out. So yeah, that's why that one's a runner-up as opposed to in the top 10, because it's not really, I didn't really do anything original. I did my best to copy hers, which was my intention because I wanted to do it kind of for practice. But so counting down, the next like number 10. This is in a very relative order. I don't know that they're actually this order for my favorites, but Any Day Autumn Vibes coloring book. I did this witch page in October, and I absolutely adore it. Every time I look at it, it makes me happy. Just the purple teal contrast makes me very happy. And it was a buddy color with Juliet Colors and Candace of Happy Catastrophe. And it was mostly an alcohol marker with a little bit of gel pen for the stars and a little bit of white gel pen for some highlights. But yeah, I'm super happy with it. It just makes me smile. Like it's not the best, but I'm still learning with my alcohol blending as well. So I was still pretty happy with how the blend looked. I feel like you know, the sheer sleeves look like they're sheer. So yeah, I was really happy with that one. Number 9. Okay, so now we're gonna get back to this Spirit Animals one, and I did this page here as a buddy color with Melissa from Winter Colors, and it wasn't my first Hannah Carlson page because I did a page in Space in September, but this one felt a little bit you know, like there's just more to it, and I ended up being really happy. Like I have a 24 set of ink tints, and I kind of had to blend the fuchsia and a little bit of gray and a little bit of yellow to get this color for her dress, and I'm really happy with how that turned out. And you know, I'm pretty happy with the glow I got on things. And you know, like yes, there's places where I feel like I could have done better, but overall I'm pretty happy. I like the shading that I managed to achieve for the most part. I think her face ended up a little bit dirty looking, but I also really wanted it to look like the shadow on the top half and the glow on her chin kind of thing. From, you know, this is shining up to her chin, but her hair and her forehead kind of blocks the light from getting to this part of her face. And I'm also really happy with how I did the shading on the links. I did study the pictures a lot, and I wasn't ready to try doing actual fur texture, but when you look at pictures of the lynx, their fur is generally pretty smooth. They don't look really fluffy and fuzzy, so I felt it appropriate to just kind of smooth it out. But yeah, I'm super happy with how the coloring on the lynx turned out as well. So yeah, another one that I'm quite happy with for the year. And I don't have these written in an order. I had written like 15 of my favorites and then picked and chose throughout. Okay, so the next is a Molly Harrison mermaid that I did. So that one I don't have here. I'm going to insert the picture. And it's from her big book of grayscale, the 100 images. And I did it for Mermaid. And I ended up not liking how I did the background. It was like blotchy watercolory, so I went over everything with alcohol marker to try to tone it down, but it ended up looking really good. And I loved how I did the mermaid and her like her tail. I feel like I got a good shine on her tail, so I was really happy with that. Next is going to be this from Boule de Poil by Diane Defour. And this one I only just did, you guys are seeing a sneak peek of it because it's going to be in my December completed pages. But it's this deer. And I did the wood texture for it, and I added in this background, and I wanted it to kind of look like a hazy sunrise in the snow kind of morning. And I feel like I achieved the kind of hazy look I was going for. This, I feel, looks kind of like a little bit of brush and a little bit of snowy in the background, and the sun coming through with the little trees. And so yeah, I feel like I achieved it. Did the wood texture like it's a picture on the wall. The only thing I'm not happy with was that I went over the little leafy bits, or the pine bits, with the gold signo, and I regret doing that. I wish I hadn't done that. But you know, it's done. It is what it is. I don't think it looks terrible. I just think I think it looked better before I did that. So that one is number 7, and then number 6 is my hummingbird that I did from Circle of Life by Melpomene Chatspanagoutu. And so it's this one. And again, so I based it with the Heathrow markers, and I wasn't thrilled with how I did the basing. I really didn't, I didn't love the colors of these flowers in particular. Like, these are not bad, but I didn't love it. But what I really love is the inside. I love the hummingbird. Based with the markers and layering the markers a lot, and then layering some gel pen like for here and for on the tips of the wings. I kind of put the gel pen over and then smudged it out to kind of make it not so stark. And I'm really, really happy with how they turned out. And I feel like it looks quite like an Anna's hummingbird. That was my inspiration. And then the little ones that look like the female hummingbirds, and then the background. So yeah, I'm so happy with this that it makes me love this page, even though I'm not thrilled with the wreath part of it. So yeah, one day I might come back, but I might not. But one day I might come back and try to do a better job on the flowers. That might depend actually on how the completing of the book goes. This is my only page in it so far, but it's a book that I would like to complete. And so I could see myself coming back and retouching the flowers if the rest of the book really becomes kind of a work of art that I'm really happy with, and I feel like just the flowers kind of drag it down. I might come back and try to see what I could do. But I'd be happy to leave it as it is as well. So that's number 6. Okay, number 5 is this one, which is Paige's Parrot from Hannah Lynn's Maui Mermaids and Island Cuties, I think is the name. So this was done entirely, it was a buddy color. Oh, it was a buddy color with somebody that I don't remember right now, and I'm really sorry. Maybe it was Shakira. Maybe it was Shakira's coloring. I'll put her name up top. It's Shakira something. I just don't remember the name of her channel. But this was done entirely with the Coldpart alcohol markers, the brush tip ones, and I'm really happy with how, like, you know, the blends on her hair and the blends on the flowers and the butterfly and the bird, and I really like how I did the texture in her eye. I think it all looks really good. And even just like making the sand look a little bit darker for the underwater part and lighter for the upper part. I'm just like, I love the color palette that I chose. I love everything about it. I love Hannah Lynn's art. I know it's not for everybody, but there's just something, because it's not realistic, like it's just really fun to go in and play with the colors and have fun with it. So yeah, I really adore this one. So that was number 4. Number 3, this number 3 is going to be another December one that you guys are getting a sneak peek of, although I did post it on my Instagram. But it's from the traditional Christmas special, but it's also from Teresa Goodridge's Home for the Holidays book. And so I did this one, and it's my first Teresa Goodridge page that wasn't gnomes, and it's only my second Teresa Goodridge total, but I'm really, really happy with how I did the shading on things. I based it again with Inktense. I love the limited palette on it. The only thing I don't love is the cat. I felt like the cat had a bit of a funny shape, and I wasn't really sure how to try to shade it. It's kind of a bit of a blob, but I like it anyway. And yeah, I feel like I got a bit of a 3D texture on the balls. I love the flowers. I love all of it, and I like all the glitter that I put on too. I think the gold is like I think Glitterific or something by Folk Art Extreme Glitter Gold. And then the red glitter here that's kind of chunky is this Deco Art Galaxy glitter, heavily loaded glitter. And then of course there's, you know, some gel pen. I think there's some glitter gel pen on the stripes of little Santa's outfit, and some little red polka dots and glitter on the nose there. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. And then I think even the outer part here, I put the glitter, the same extreme glitter I put all around the frame. Yeah, I'm super happy with that. That was a contender for being number 1, actually. And number 2, though, is actually another page that I did, that I left behind in Joanna Basford's Lost Ocean. So I'll insert the picture here. And it was where I had taken out a printable coloring page, like a free online printable, and transferred the image of Flounder and Sebastian onto the, like, I didn't glue them in. I kind of did the tracing method, and I drew them in to the Joanna Basford page and colored it in. And I used some watercolor and some acrylic paint, and then the Sebastian and Flounder were done in colored pencil, and I absolutely love it. I love how it turned out. Definitely one of my favorite. It was another contender for top, like for number 1, and it might be number 1. I think the top 3 were all, you know, pretty interchangeable. So the one that I did choose for number 1 is from Camilla D'Errico's Pop Manga, and it was this page here that I did as buddy color with Rachel of Rachel Colors and Crafts. And it's funny, we ended up doing a really similar color palette, but I just had envisioned it exactly like this from the get-go, and I could not see it any other way. I had seen that she had ended up using similar colors to what I wanted to use, and I tried to do something different, but I just couldn't. I couldn't see it any other way. So I just went with it, and I absolutely love how it turned out. This was so much fun. Like, I knew I liked Camilla D'Errico's art, but I didn't think I would love it so much. And you know, the nose was just like a little, it was like this, just the little kind of nostril dots. There was no shape or line or anything. And so I found another piece of her art and kind of shaded it in, and then I tried to shade in the color for the lips. And I really like how that turned out. So yeah, I'm super proud of that one. So that is my top 10 favorites, and my most liked one on Instagram. Because I'm still fairly new, I think I'm still, like, the more recent something is, the more likes it's getting, because the more my page grows, the more people see it. But my most liked one on Instagram was this Teresa Goodrich page, which I feel was worthy of the most likes. So was it, the question is most liked on Instagram, which is that page, and was it the same as your favorite? And I would say yes, because it is one of my top 3. So question number 3 is goals set and met. Did you set any coloring goals at the beginning of the year? Did you meet them? I think the only coloring goal that I set for myself when I started was that I did want to start a YouTube channel. And so I would say that yes, I achieved that. And you know, the happy surprise of that is the coloring community, that I didn't realize how warm and welcoming the coloring community would be. So number 4 is books colored. How many? I'm just going to take something and put it here for us to look at, just so that I'm not talking to blank. So you're not just looking at the blank desk while I talk. So question number 4 is books colored. How many different books did you color in this year? And so I am maybe slightly OCD. I'm not OCD about everything, but when it comes to tracking things, I generally don't do it because it's my brain feels like I need to do it a certain way. But I did go back and go through all my numbers and try to figure everything out the best I can. Anything could be off by 1 or 2 because there's a lot of categories for me. Like I said, I left a lot of stuff behind. So some of my completed pages are behind. My books with completed pages are behind. And I was kind of going with my bookshelf app plus what I have here, and I have my PDFs in my bookshelf app, and some PDFs are printed and some PDFs aren't, but I want to count the PDF books. So all of these things that just go through my brain and drive me bonkers. So the answer to books colored, a total, I believe, is 39 different books that I've colored in, 34 of which are physical books, 5 would be PDF books. Pages colored, how many pages did I color this year? And did I set any personal targets? No, I did not set any personal targets at all. So pages colored is 86 technically. 30 of them though were from the 30 Days to Halloween coloring book. So if you don't count those, I mean, I did color them all in October, but they were kind of a bit of a rush job in October. So without including those, it would be 56 pages, which is 47 physical and 9 PDFs. So I've only colored 9 PDF pages, only 9 completed PDF pages. And I definitely have a goal going into 2025 to do more PDF pages. Okay, so for those counting is actually 86 total colored pages. And I don't know why my brain needs to, like, I can't just answer the question simply. I have to separate the things that my brain needs to separate. So number 6 is community participation. How many buddy colors? Oh, the next part of that question is how many do you average a month? And so if that's 80, 85, or 86 over, I really didn't start doing it very much until May. So May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December is 8 months. And if we say I had done 5 pages before May and 80 pages since, we're about 10 pages a month, which is basically what I already knew that I manage. So community participation, how many buddy colors or hashtags, prompts, and challenges did you take part in this year? I really have no idea how accurate this number is, and I'm not sure exactly how to track it because, you know, in Mermay, every page was a Mermay page, or most pages counted for the Elm Colors hashtag. But they were only 2 challenges that had multiple pages. So anyway, I just counted 14 hashtags and kind of prompts and challenges that I did, not including doing multiple pages for one hashtag. And I believe I had 24 buddies, but that could be completely wrong. Number 7 is whips at the end of the year. How many works in progress do you have left at the end of the year? Now, I am hoping to get a couple of these done before the end of December, but at the moment, I have 22 whips, 16 of which are here with me, and 6 of them that I have left behind, so they won't be getting touched. But 2 of the whips are just like current December pages that I feel very confident I'll be able to get done before the end of the month. So number 8 is untouched books. How many coloring books are still untouched on your shelf at the end of the year? So this was hard for me to sort out because of the whole not all of my books being here and doing a little bit of math. untouched books here are 100. Untouched books total is 203. Untouched physical books that are here with me are 140. Untouched PDF books are 40. And then the untouched books that I left behind are 23. So physical books right here with me are 140 untouched, which is 85. And I would like to do better than 85% untouched. And with my 40 PDFs untouched, that's 89% untouched. So that's why I'd like to try to at least get one PDF done every single month. Okay, so books completed. Did you finish any coloring books this year? If so, which ones? I didn't grab that book, but I'm going to show you. So I did, as a little buddy project with Emily of eArt Studios, this book here, 30 Days to Halloween by Coco Wyo. And so we, it is completed with the exception of the little end page and these little beginning pages. I kind of did the frame, but honestly, I don't know if I really want to do those. I had counted them as pages to be colored when I put it in my bookshelf app, but I don't know. But other than that, I have completed this book. It's pretty simple. I feel like we went backwards to count down, so from 30 to number 1. And as we went on, I put in more effort. Like I really did like this page. Some I liked more than others, you know. I liked that one. I really liked this one. I really liked how I did the fire. I really liked her. I liked this one. This one's pretty neat. I tried to take inspiration from Emily doing a different colored fire. I liked how that turned out. I really loved this one. He didn't turn out quite how I hoped. I loved this one with the nun. I loved how the brickwork turned out. And the mummy, I really adore. I think it did a really cool job on his wrappings. And this one, I was just so tired of all the spooky stuff, so I wanted her to be a pretty little happy pastel ghost, or maybe a scared pastel ghost. But so I'd say that is a completed page, or a completed book, even though I didn't do those. But I don't know if I want to. Like, they're not proper pages in the book anyway, and some people don't do the you know, the title page and stuff. So that's that. Question number 10, books added to your collection. How many new books? Well, everything was a new book for me this year because I wasn't coloring before this year. Number 11 is new release books. What was your favorite must-have new release book from 2024? So again, everything was new to me this year anyway, but once I was already into coloring, the books that you know I had pre-ordered and then was really excited about getting is definitely I'm gonna grab them to show you. Okay, so one is Magical Worlds. I was really excited about this coming out, and it did not disappoint. I think it's just so beautiful. I haven't colored in it yet, but I really can't wait to, and it is definitely one of my 25 for 25 books. So it can get some love because there's just so much cuteness in it. So that one, Magical Worlds, but I have to mention 3 books because I can't just choose one. So Mythographic Rainbow Realms by Weronika Kalinska. I was so impressed with this book and the art in it, and it was really hard not to include this in my 25 for 25 because I really feel like I would love to complete this book. Even the pages that I don't love, I still like. Like, there's nothing in this book that I wouldn't want to do. But there's so much that's just really neat and different that I like in this book. Like this kind of stuff it just feels different than anything else I've seen for a lot of it. Like obviously there are some things that are, you know, similar to other. And then the third one is the Celebrations coloring book, the Thomas Kincaid Studios, which is my first one of these books, but it has so many Mickey Minnie pages in it. So I really, really love this one. I do love the Thomas Kincaid Disney stuff anyway, but I'm such a sucker for just Mickey and Minnie in general. So I was really, really happy to get this. So those were ones that I was eagerly awaiting, and they did not disappoint. Oh, sorry for banging the camera. Okay, next question is number 12. Favorite coloring supplies. Which coloring supplies did you reach for the most this year? Any new discoveries or old favorites? So again, everything was kind of new discoveries for me. Once I realized that there was colored pencils better than Crayola, and so everything was kind of a new discovery. But the ones that I reached for the most, once I got my first colored pencils were the Arctics ones, and then I got Color, and I didn't bring the colors with me. And so then once I got here, I did end up getting Prismacolors. So my Prismacolors are definitely my most favorite. I have the 24 pack of Inktense, and those are just wonderful and amazing, and definitely my favorite thing to base with. And just some other things that I like to use, that I use a lot. So we have the Uniball Gold Signo. I love it. I love how liquidy and juicy it is, and it just it goes on looking like liquid gold. I would really, really like to get the silver in this. The silver that I do have, my favorite one, is this Marie's Silver Highlight Pen, and it's just the nicest one that I've had. I've tried a couple, like I have the Link Shine ones, and the silver was all bugged up, so it's just not nice. This one is really nice. It's bright, it's sparkly. Jelly Roll, I don't find Jelly Roll pens are great. I find they plug up a lot, and they're not as smooth as the white Marie's that I have. But the Jelly Roll with the 0.5 tip, the smaller one, I do use it often because it is such a fine tip, and I find it really, really nice for just doing those tiny, tiny details. So I would love to have just a whole pack of the 0.5 tip ones. Next is the Posca, the tiny one. Like this is our normal extra fine Posca. That's the 0.7, but then it's this, like the bullet shaped 0.7, but this one with a little pin type. That one I absolutely love. I mean, I've used this Posca, it's practically empty now. I was really having to shake it and force it to get some out last night. But this tip now is my favorite. And this here, that is the Koi water-based coloring brush pen. And I absolutely love it for activating my watercolor pencils or my Inktense. You can see the tip is stained from the Inktense. When the water runs out, I just have a little container of water, and I'll dip the pen and just let it sit in there and soak up some water. And then I just keep on using it because I find it so much easier to control the amount of water than using an actual paintbrush. And then the next one is this Colpart acrylic brush marker that comes from a set. And I don't think I have the set in here with me. It was like a 40 set on Amazon, maybe 48, I think. And they're really, really translucent. And I was disappointed with them when I got them because they're so translucent. But what I discovered is that because it's so translucent, this white, it does a really good job of just giving you a touch. And I'm going to show you an example. This is another sneak peek of a December page. But like in her hat here, I used this white for these stripes. So it's like, it's not the solid white, but it's just such a nice, nice translucent white that it just kind of will lighten up anything and brighten anything. So I actually ended up liking it way more than I thought I would. So those are just kind of some of my real favorites for the year. Most reached for book. Which coloring book did you work in the most this year? So aside from that 30 Days to Halloween, I have Fierce and Fantasy Faces. Has, I think, 3 completed pages plus a whip. So we have that one, that one, that one, and this one is a whip. So that technically is my most touched. And then I would say, okay, Ivy and the Inky Butterfly is a close second because it also has 3 completed pages. This one's a project book with Emily Art Studios. So it has the title page and the intro and nameplate page are completed pages. So also 3 completed pages. These 2 are fairly easy, but this one was very, very time consuming. It's kind of tied. They both have 3 completed pages. Definitely the work that went into this page alone was more than the others. But yeah, those are, I think 3 pages is the most I have in any book, aside from the 30 Days to Halloween one. Next question, most challenging page. Which page gave you the most challenge? How did you approach it? So, you know, the things that give me the most challenge are the things that I base and then I'm just not happy with how I've based it. I'm not happy with the colors. And then like, how do I recover? Or, you know, if I go and use the wrong color that I didn't intend to use and then I have to try to color correct. I'd say that's actually what my biggest issue is. So in Cosmic Spirit, I had done this page as a buddy color with Rachel of Rachel Colors and Crafts. And so I went in really dark with the basing. The horse, I went in really dark, and this purple, I went in really dark. And so I ended up having to really bring it back and try to pull back the highlight colors. And especially with the blue, it was quite a challenge to not just have it look really chalky. Like there's still a little bit of chalkiness here, but to try to get the highlights without it being chalky. For the purple, I ended up using the kind of translucent Coal-Part markers, and that helped. And you know, Prismacolors, luckily they're so opaque, so I had to use the bright blue though, because the lighter one just ended up again chalky. So I think that was the most challenging, was just trying to bring back some lightness or brightness or contrast when I had gone in too dark. But yeah, another page actually that was a challenge that I had to recover from was this one here. I had based her with blue alcohol marker, but it was so streaky. And then I tried to go in and shade after I had put on the blue glitter. And then you can see how it went really, really patchy and funny. So then I had to go back over her completely with acrylic paint. And then I went over again with the Dragonfly glaze. So trying to recover her blotchiness on her skin was a bit of a challenge. And then trying to get a little bit of shading and contrast to her skin with the acrylic paint just wasn't happening. So she ended up being pretty flat, but I like how she turned out anyway. It's just she was also a challenge. Both of those were Space Timber ones that I did in September. So, number 15, coloring book surprise. Was there a book or a page that surprised you with how much you enjoyed it? That's like, I think I expect to enjoy them anyway. I think with the Teresa Goodrich page here, I was surprised. Not that I enjoyed it, but that it wasn't as challenging as I expected it to be. It actually came together quite easily. And I know it's not as daunting as some of her scene pictures, but I was still quite happy with how not daunting it was. Another one that I was more surprised, I was so scared to do any Camilla Derico. And so I was just so happy with how easily this came, and it's like it just came together on its own. I was just the utensil, and it just happened, you know. So that one was a happy surprise. And question number 16 is we're gonna bring something back for you guys to look at. Question number 16, how many videos did you create for your channel this year? So I created 42 videos so far, and I think before the end of the year is up, I'll have a couple more videos up there. So I think it's not bad. I think if we say I've had my channel the beginning of June, so basically 6 months. 6 sevens is 42, so about 6 sevens is 42, so that's about 7 a month, which is pretty good. It's actually more consistent than I thought I was, considering I went like a whole month practically of no videos when life was going kind of crazy. Number 17, favorite video you made. What was your personal favorite video you created this year, and why? So that's kind of hard to choose. I think the most fun to film was my fall pics when I did the spinner. That was definitely the most fun, and I really enjoyed doing the spinner, and I think I would like to try a version of the spinner again, but I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna work that in. But another couple that were my favorites, one is my my Happy Mail video where Emily of eArt Studios so generously sent me so many lovely gifts, and it was the feeling, the emotion that I had like opening the gifts. It was just so like she made me cry. And I just felt so warm and so loved, and that was really nice. So it wasn't about the getting things, it was just about that warm emotion that it made me feel. And then another one that surprisingly felt really good to film was I had done a color and chat after I was here a little bit, explaining why I had been away and explaining that I had left my partner and come and moved here. And, you know, it was actually a really cathartic video to film, and I did not expect to feel such a weight off of me after I filmed that video and after I shared it and, you know, got feedback and love from you guys. So yeah, that one was really very meaningful. So I can't pick just one favorite. So yeah, question number 18, your coloring routine. Did your coloring habits or routine change this year? Well, I don't have much of a routine, And B, obviously there's nothing to change. I tend to color on the couch, and sometimes I color at my desk, but my chair isn't very good, so my bum hurts. So I like to color on the couch. Number 19, new techniques learned. Did you learn or experiment with any new techniques this year? What were they? So again, everything is new for me. I am learning everything as I go. I am familiar with painting with acrylic paint, but I'll tell you, putting acrylic paint in a coloring book is a completely different story. I have, played around with doing some watercolor painting, trying to paint with watercolor in a coloring book, totally different story. I know pencil crayons, colored pencils is my favorite. That is comfortable for me. Trying to color with alcohol markers, trying to shade with alcohol markers is a challenge, and I don't think I've mastered it at all. So yeah, everything is new, and I have learned some techniques, or I am learning some techniques, but I have a lot to learn. Number 20, inspirational colorist. Who inspired your coloring this year? So I have a few answers for that. Number one is I want to say colorfully optimistic, because it was watching her where I actually discovered the whole concept of adult coloring and realized that it's a thing, and that you can do these beautiful works of art inside a coloring book. So that was the biggest coloring inspiration. But I would like to say Candace of Happy Catastrophe and Amy of Amy Ward Art are very inspiring, because like Candace is just always, she'll say, like, turn the page. If you don't like it, just turn the page. And when she does something and it doesn't work out how she wanted to, she'll just laugh and appreciate for the experience that it was, and not get so hung up on anything more, because in the end it's just a coloring book. Like, that's all it is, right? And the same, Amy of Amy Ward Art, sometimes she'll just do straight Crayola super tips, and it's just as worthy and valid as something that she puts all this effort to, that looks like a work of art. And so being able to appreciate the range of the simple to the technically advanced, I find both of them very inspiring for their views on not taking it all so seriously. And I definitely need to take some of that inspiration myself. It's not, sometimes I'm a perfectionist. And then I would also like to say, there's quite a few ladies who inspire me in this way. But Jamie of Jamie's Coloring Love, and Soraya of Soraya Colors, who's on Instagram, have really inspired me to try to, and Kate, Mahonia Colors, to think outside the box, and to do different, like to take a different page and just glue it into your book, or, color something else and combine coloring books, and don't be afraid to cut a page out of a different book, or cut up something else, and just kind of combine them and blend them, and be more creative about it, and not be, because I tend to be like this is a rule, this is how this is, and this is how it has to be, and so I think they help me to not try to hold tight to these rules, and to be open to trying things differently. Emily to eArt Studios, she did this amazing collage page in her Carolina Kubikowska book. And it was just such a stunning image. And she did it as a school project. And the meaning behind it was very powerful. But I'm aware of how those books aren't cheap, and she just went with it and made this beautiful thing happen. And I feel like I would be so afraid to to ruin this expensive book. And so that kind of inspiration to just go with it and just experiment and have fun. And nothing is the end of the world. And even if you do ruin a page, glue it together later. Like, nothing is the end of the world. And so I think those are the kinds of things that I think I take inspiration from, as opposed to influencing my specific coloring style or things like that. So that was number 20, and that was a really long answer. Sorry. Number 21 is memorable coloring moments. Any special or memorable moments related to your coloring journey this year? I mean, I don't know what the answer to that question is, to be honest. I don't know that I have like specific memorable moments. Receiving all my packages from Emily was a standout memorable moment. I don't know that. I'll think about that question. Maybe next year I'll have an answer for it. Number 22 is coloring community reflection. How did the adult coloring community impact your year? Any collaborations, friendships, or inspiring moments you would like to share? So I have definitely made some friends, and I obviously Emily of eArt Studios, and we actually got to meet in person, and we went and had coffee, and she brought me some books that she had picked up for me. And I have some other friends that I've made that I talk to quite regularly, and I think that was a surprise. And going through what I've been going through, there's some people who check in, and it feels like they care, and I'm making friends, and I really like that, and it's really neat and special. And I don't there's some people that I talk to every day, and I really appreciate it. And I had no idea that this community would actually be so rewarding, like not monetary rewarding, that emotionally rewarding. As far as collaborations, we've got some project books and we have some hashtags that we're doing together, or project books that we're doing together. And so those things are fun, but more so than that, I just like that I'm actually making friendships and people who care about me, and that I care about them, and we know what's going on in each other's lives, and it's really nice, and it's not something that I expected. Number 23 is looking ahead to 2025. What are your coloring goals or plans for the upcoming year? Any new techniques or projects you're excited to explore? Books you're hoping to complete? Coloring goals or plans for the upcoming year. I will say my targets, because like I said, I average about 10 books a month, and I have, even if I colored a different book, like a page, even if every single page that I colored came from a different book, that would only be 120 books, and that's less than what I have untouched. So, and I don't want to only spread myself out. I do want to work towards completion for certain books. So my hope is that every month, if I get about 10 pages done, that 50% of the pages are working towards filling, the chosen books, which would be like the 25 for 25 or the other honorary project book type things. And then the other 50% are for touching untouched books. So that's kind of one coloring goal. Emily and I have a new hashtag that there's going to be a video coming out about that soon. That's going to be like a year-long coloring tag to challenge us to get out of our comfort zone. And I think that's a really neat idea, and I'm excited about that. So I look forward to sharing that with you guys, and I look forward to seeing what comes of it. New techniques or projects you're excited to explore. Well, that project is kind of what I said. Emily also, it's not in the video, and I basically messed up the video, so I can't share it. But Emily, because she's amazing and because she's the most generous person I've ever known in my life, she also got me a set of Neo Color 2s, the Karin Neo Color 2s. So I am so excited to play with those and try them out and do some backgrounds with them. I cannot wait. So that's something that I'm definitely excited to do. And I have gesso that's just been burning a hole in a basket. So I am dying to play with some gesso and some Amazon paper coloring books and see what I can do with some watercolor. And then books I'm hoping to complete. This one, it's the 50 pages, but each image has the grayscale and the line art. So I'm not doing one or the other, but I would like to complete each image, one version or the other, however it ends up being. But if I could, there's 30, no, 16, 8, 16, 20, 24, 25 images. Oh yeah, 50, duh. So yes, 50 pages, only 25 images. I would like to complete the 25, which I've already completed 3 of them. The 4th is a whip, so that is like 21.5 pages to do over the year. So I think if I aim to do 2 every month, then I will finish it before the end of the year. Like I said, just the 25 separate images. I don't care if I do the grayscale or the line art, just one or the other. But that is the only book that I expect I'll be completing, or, quasi-completing. And then question number 24 is, number 24 question is 2025 new books and products. Are there any new books or products you're really looking forward to in 2025? Oh, yes, there sure is. New books for 2025. We have Joseph Kattenbang's new book, The Dragon One. We have Fabiana Attanasio's new book, The Forest Fantasy, something like that. We have Hannah Carlson's Merry Christmas is coming out, the English version, because I did not get the Swedish version. We have Maria Troll's Fairy Tales, because, again, I didn't get the Swedish version, so the English version is coming out in the summer or spring or summer. What else? What else is very exciting? Did I mention Kirby Rosanna's Fairy Tales? That one's very exciting. So that's 2 Fairy Tales ones even. Oh, there's something else too. There was another one that I was like very excited about. There's also like a Mythagoria. I think the Shelley Carroll has a Dark Fairies or something. I'm going to insert the cover of that. I forget what it's called, but I'm pretty excited about that one too. There's so many new mythographics coming out, and obviously I want them all. But the Joseph Kattenbang, the Fabiana Attanasio, Kirby Rosanne's Fairy Tale, the Marie Troll Fairy Tale, and the Hannah Carlson, Merry Christmas. Those ones are my most excited for at the moment. We'll see what else is to come. Also, Rita Berman has, they're not new, they are English reprints of her the Under the Microscope Land and Water ones. And then I also saw there is the Seasons compilation one that's coming out as English reprints. And I don't know about other Amazons, but I know on Amazon Canada, you already can't get the new versions of the Under the Microscope. You already can't get the old versions. You can't get a new copy of the old versions of the Under the Microscope Water and Land anymore. They are already like buy it used or buy it through this third-party seller. So I'm not sure what the deal is, if they're being discontinued or not, but they're super expensive. So I'm probably going to just end up getting the Canadian ones, and I hope that the quality is just as good, but it rarely is. So yeah, that's a long enough video for now. I think that's everything. That was all the questions. As far as 2025 new products, I mean, there's nothing actually coming out that I am aware of that I'm excited about, but you know, we always love new products, and there are definitely things that I would love to try, but I'm pretty happy with what I have. I think the only hole in my, well, there's two holes in my collection still. One is Ohuhu's, because there's just no comparison between Ohuhu's and the knockoff brush tip markers, the alcohol markers. And then the other hole is, okay, maybe two more holes. One is the paint pens. I had bought these Colpart ones, expecting them to be like other paint pens, but because they're so translucent, like you can't use them to cover up black lines or anything. So, you know, like Thule Arts or a set of paint pens that I could cover up black lines with, I would like. And then the other thing that I would really love is a set of gel pens like the Jelly Roll Moonlight in some sort of pastels, again for covering up the black lines, but for being colors, not just white. Yeah, those are, I mean, you know, they're further down the line. Nothing I'm rushing for. I don't feel the need for anything immediately, but those are definitely things that I feel like are still just a little bit of a hole in my collection. So that's it. It's been a long video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thanks for sharing your time with me. And if you want to do the video as well, go to Karen's page on My Colorful Country Life and check out the questions. And I really love watching these videos, so I look forward to seeing what you guys do. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have a good one. Be kind to yourselves out there. Bye-bye.